What if I told you that the greatest wealth-building secrets weren't hidden in some exclusive boardroom, but written thousands of years ago by a king who possessed more riches than Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk combined? What if the very blueprint that Napoleon Hill used to transform ordinary people into millionaires was actually borrowed from ancient wisdom that most people read but never truly understand? What if everything you've been taught about success has been backwards, and the real formula for abundance has been sitting in plain sight, waiting for someone brave enough to decode it? What if I could show you that your current struggles aren't because you lack talent, but because you've been following the wrong map? What if today, right now, everything could begin to change? Picture this scenario for a moment. You're standing at a crossroads, and you have two paths before you. One path is crowded with millions of people, all walking in the same direction, carrying the same burdens, repeating the same complaints, and getting the same disappointing results. The other path appears almost empty, yet those few walking it carry themselves differently. They move with purpose, speak with authority, and seem to possess an inner peace that radiates from their very being. The difference isn't luck, genetics, or circumstances. The difference is wisdom. The difference is understanding principles that most people dismiss as outdated religious text, when in reality, these principles are the operating system of the universe itself. King Solomon, the wisest and wealthiest man in history, didn't stumble into his fortune. He didn't inherit his wisdom. He asked for it, received it, and then spent his life documenting the exact principles that govern prosperity, relationships, and personal power. These weren't written as religious sermons, but as practical business strategies for anyone serious about building something lasting. When Napoleon Hill spent 25 years studying the most successful people of his era, he wasn't discovering new principles. He was rediscovering ancient truths that Solomon had already mapped out centuries before. The tragedy is that most people treat the Book of Proverbs like a collection of nice sayings instead of what it really is, a comprehensive manual for life mastery. Every verse contains a wealth-building principle, every chapter reveals a success strategy, and every page offers a piece of the puzzle that, when assembled correctly, creates a life of extraordinary abundance and purpose. But here's what makes this even more powerful. These aren't just financial principles. They're life principles that transform everything they touch. Your relationships become deeper, your decisions become clearer, your confidence becomes unshakable, and your impact becomes undeniable. Napoleon Hill understood this connection intimately. His famous work, Think and Grow Rich, wasn't just about thinking your way to wealth. It was about aligning your thoughts, actions, and character with universal principles that have governed success since the beginning of time. Hill's concept of infinite intelligence mirrors Solomon's understanding of divine wisdom. Hill's emphasis on definite major purpose reflects Solomon's teachings about walking in your calling. Hill's principle of applied faith is simply a modern interpretation of Solomon's instruction to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. But here's where most people get stuck. They read these principles, nod their heads in agreement, feel inspired for a moment, and then return to the same patterns that have kept them frustrated and unfulfilled. They treat wisdom like entertainment instead of like medicine. They approach success principles like suggestions instead of like laws of nature. And then they wonder why their circumstances never change, why their bank account stays empty, why their dreams remain distant, and why their potential stays locked inside them. The truth that will set you free today is this: your current situation is not your permanent destination. Your past does not define your future. Your bank account does not determine your worth. Your mistakes do not disqualify you from greatness, and your age, education, background, or connections do not limit what God can do through you when you align yourself with His principles. But alignment requires action. Understanding requires application. And transformation requires a decision that changes everything that comes after it. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Proverbs 9:10. This isn't about religious fear or spiritual intimidation. This is about recognizing that there's an order to this universe, and when you align yourself with that order, everything works in your favor. When you fight against it, everything becomes a struggle. Napoleon Hill called this working in harmony with infinite intelligence. Solomon called it the fear of the Lord. Both understood that true success comes from partnership with divine principles, not opposition to them. The most dangerous person in any room isn't the one who's angry or hostile. It's the one who has no control over themselves. Like a city whose walls are broken through, a person who lacks self-control is completely vulnerable to every attack, every temptation, every distraction, and every excuse that comes their way. Proverbs 25:28. This isn't just biblical wisdom. It's psychological reality. Napoleon Hill observed that every successful person he studied had one thing in common. They had developed the ability to govern their own impulses, emotions, and reactions. Think about the last time you made a decision you later regretted. What happened? Did you act from wisdom or from emotion? Did you choose the path that served your long-term vision or the one that satisfied your immediate desire? Did you respond like someone who controls their destiny or like someone who gets controlled by their circumstances? The answer to those questions reveals whether you're building your empire or slowly dismantling it, decision by decision, moment by moment. Self-discipline isn't about becoming a robot without feelings. It's about becoming the CEO of your own life. It's about making decisions from your highest self instead of your weakest moment. It's about choosing who you want to become instead of accepting who you've always been. When you develop self-control, you develop the ability to say yes to your future and no to anything that would sabotage it. You develop the power to act on your commitments instead of your emotions. You develop the strength to persist when everyone else quits. Napoleon Hill discovered that successful people don't have fewer challenges than unsuccessful people. They have better responses to challenges. They don't have fewer temptations. They have stronger character. They don't have fewer setbacks. They have greater resilience. The difference isn't what happens to them. It's what happens inside them when external pressures mount. Hill called this applied faith, the ability to maintain your vision and continue your work even when circumstances suggest you should quit. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Proverbs 6:8. This isn't just about work ethic, it's about self-governance. The ant doesn't need a boss to tell it what to do. It doesn't need motivation from external sources. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions or ideal circumstances. It simply does what needs to be done when it needs to be done, because it understands the consequences of both action and inaction. How many times have you waited for motivation that never came? How many times have you postponed action until you felt ready? How many times have you let temporary emotions override permanent commitments? The ant teaches us that motivation follows action, not the other way around. When you act like the person you want to become, you start feeling like the person you want to become. When you make decisions based on your goals instead of your moods start aligning with your goals. But here's what makes self-discipline even more powerful. It's contagious. When you develop the ability to control yourself, you develop the ability to influence everything around you. Your environment responds to your energy. Your opportunities expand to match your character. Your relationships improve because you become someone worth knowing. Your finances grow because you become someone worth trusting. Your impact increases because you become someone worth following. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it can begin today. It starts with one decision, one moment, one choice to act from wisdom instead of impulse. It starts when you decide that your future is more important than your feelings, that your vision is more valuable than your comfort, and that your potential is more powerful than your past. Every time you choose discipline over default, you're building the foundation for everything you want to create. Before we continue, I need to pause and ask you something important. If what you're hearing right now is hitting you in a way that feels different, if something inside you is stirring and saying, "This is what I've been looking for," then I want you to know you're not here by accident. This message found you at exactly the right time. And if you're finding value in this content, if it's speaking to something deep in your spirit, would you take just 1 second to hit that subscribe button? Not because I need the numbers, but because you need this community. You need to be connected with other people who are on this same journey of transformation. When you subscribe, you're not just following a channel, you're joining a movement of people who refuse to settle for mediocrity. And while you're at it, drop a comment below and tell me one area where you're ready to develop better self-control. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Your story could be the catalyst that changes someone else's life forever. There's a difference between being busy and being purposeful. There's a difference between working hard and working smart. There's a difference between moving and advancing. And there's a difference between activity and progress. Most people spend their entire lives moving in circles, exhausting themselves without ever arriving at their destination, not because they lack energy or effort, but because they lack direction. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:6. This isn't passive submission, it's strategic partnership. When you align your plans with divine principles, when you submit your ambitions to divine wisdom, when you allow divine intelligence to guide your decisions, you tap into a navigational system that never fails. Napoleon Hill called this infinite intelligence and taught that every great achievement began with someone connecting to this higher source of guidance. Consider how many decisions you make every single day. What to focus on, where to invest your time, which opportunities to pursue, which relationships to nurture, which projects to prioritize. Each decision is a vote for the future you're creating. Each choice is either moving you closer to your destiny or further away from it. Without divine wisdom guiding these choices, you're essentially navigating through life with a broken compass, hoping you'll accidentally stumble into success. The path of the righteous is level. You, the upright one, make the way of the righteous smooth. Isaiah 26:7. When you walk in wisdom, obstacles become opportunities. When you operate from integrity, doors open that were previously locked. When you make decisions based on principles instead of preferences, the universe begins working in your favor instead of against you. This isn't mystical thinking, it's practical spirituality. Napoleon Hill spent decades studying the most successful people of his time and discovered something remarkable. Every single one of them had what he called a definite major purpose. This wasn't just a goal or an ambition, it was a clear, compelling vision that served as their North Star through every decision, every challenge, and every opportunity. Hill found that successful people didn't just work hard, they worked with intention. They didn't just pursue money, they pursued meaning. They didn't just build businesses, they built legacies. But here's what Hill discovered that changed everything. These successful people didn't create their purpose in isolation. They connected with something greater than themselves. They aligned their personal ambitions with universal principles. They submitted their individual plans to divine intelligence. And in doing so, they accessed a level of creativity, intuition, and resilience that they could never have generated on their own. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. Proverbs 16:3. This is perhaps one of the most practical verses in all of Scripture because it reveals the secret to sustainable success. When you commit your work to the Lord, when you dedicate your efforts to something beyond your own gain, when you align your hustle with heaven's purposes, your plans don't just succeed, they become established. They become permanent. They become platforms for even greater impact. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Proverbs 16:9. You're supposed to plan. You're supposed to strategize. You're supposed to set goals and create systems and take massive action. But you're not supposed to do it alone. You're not supposed to rely solely on your own understanding. You're not supposed to trust only in your own strength. When you include God in your planning process, when you seek divine wisdom in your strategies, when you invite heaven's intelligence into your earthly endeavors, something supernatural happens. Your natural abilities get amplified, your opportunities multiply, your impact expands beyond what you could have imagined. This isn't about giving up your dreams or settling for less. This is about dreaming bigger and achieving more by partnering with the source of all wisdom and power. This is about discovering that your greatest success comes not from fighting against divine order, but from flowing with it. This is about learning that submission to God's ways isn't limitation, it's liberation. The simple believe anything, but the prudent give thought to their steps. Proverbs 14:15. Wisdom requires pause. Strategy demands reflection. Success insists on thoughtfulness. Before you make your next major decision, before you commit to your next opportunity, before you invest your next dollar or dedicate your next hour, stop and ask yourself, does this align with my ultimate purpose? Does this serve something greater than my immediate gratification? Does this move me closer to becoming the person God created me to be? Every word you speak is creating the world you're going to live in. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Proverbs 18:21. This isn't metaphorical, it's mechanical. Your words don't just express your thoughts, they shape your reality. They don't just communicate your beliefs, they create your future. They don't just reflect your expectations, they determine your outcomes. Napoleon Hill understood this principle deeply and built his entire philosophy around it. He called it auto-suggestion, the practice of deliberately programming your subconscious mind through repetitive, emotionally charged statements. Hill discovered that what you say to yourself, and about your circumstances has more power to determine your success than your education, your connections, or your current resources. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. Your external world is a direct reflection of your internal world. Your circumstances mirror your consciousness. Your environment echoes your expectations. If you want to change what's happening around you, you must first change what's happening inside you. If you want to transform your results, you must first transform your thinking. If you want to upgrade your lifestyle, you must first upgrade your language. What are you saying about yourself when no one else is listening? What thoughts are you entertaining when you're alone with your mind? What stories are you rehearsing about your future? What possibilities are you speaking into existence or talking yourself out of? Your words are seeds, and whatever you consistently plant in the garden of your mind will eventually manifest in the harvest of your life. True wealth isn't measured by what's in your bank account. It's measured by what's in your character. The blessing of the Lord brings wealth without painful toil for it. Proverbs 10:22. There's a difference between money that comes through alignment with divine principles and money that comes through compromise of those principles. One builds you up while it builds your wealth. The other tears you down even as your account grows. Napoleon Hill made a distinction that most people miss. There's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. Rich people have money. Wealthy people have systems that generate money. Rich people work for their income. Wealthy people have their income work for them. Rich people focus on accumulation. Wealthy people focus on circulation. Rich people chase opportunities. Wealthy people create opportunities. And most importantly, rich people often sacrifice their values for their wealth, while wealthy people build their wealth through their values. The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. Proverbs 21:5. Success isn't about speed, it's about sustainability. It's not about how quickly you can make money, it's about how consistently you can create value. It's not about finding shortcuts, it's about building systems. Every person who has created lasting wealth understands that wealth is a byproduct of consistent value creation over time. Consider how many people you know who make good money but have no wealth to show for it. They earn well, but they don't build well. They generate income, but they don't generate assets. They work hard, but they don't work strategically. The problem isn't their earning capacity, it's their wisdom capacity. They lack the financial intelligence to convert income into wealth, to transform labor into leverage, to turn paychecks into permanent prosperity. Hill's research revealed something profound. The wealthiest people weren't necessarily the smartest, the most educated, or the most talented. They were the most consistent. They understood that wealth is built through daily decisions, not dramatic events. They knew that financial freedom comes from small disciplines repeated over time, not from hoping for big breaks that may never come. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Proverbs 14:23. There's a difference between planning and procrastinating. There's a difference between dreaming and doing. There's a difference between talking about success and taking action towards success. Every successful person Hill studied shared one characteristic. They were doers, not just dreamers. They were implementers, not just ideators. They were builders, not just talkers. The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. Proverbs 13:4. Wanting something isn't enough. Wishing for something isn't enough. Waiting for something isn't enough. The universe responds to effort, not to expectations. God honors work, not just worship. Success requires action, not just aspiration. But here's what makes this principle even more powerful. When you work with divine intelligence guiding your efforts, when you labor in alignment with universal principles, when you hustle with heaven's blessing on your endeavors, your work becomes exponentially more effective. You don't just work harder, you work with supernatural assistance. You don't just use your natural talents, you access divine abilities. You don't just operate from your human wisdom, you tap into infinite intelligence. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Proverbs 22:7. Financial independence isn't just about having money, it's about having freedom. When you owe money, you owe loyalty. When you're in debt, you're in bondage. When you depend on others for your financial security, you give them control over your life decisions. True wealth provides choices. Real prosperity creates options. Authentic abundance generates autonomy. Every single day, you make decisions that either move you toward financial freedom or deeper into financial bondage. Every purchase is a vote for the future you're creating. Every investment is a statement about what you believe is possible. Every financial choice either builds your wealth or someone else's. The question isn't whether you're making financial decisions. The question is whether you're making wise financial decisions. Before we dive into the final section, I want to share something from my heart. If this message is resonating with you, if you're feeling something shifting inside you as we talk, then I need you to know that what you're experiencing isn't coincidental. God has orchestrated this moment. He's preparing you for something greater than what you're currently experiencing. And I want to invite you to be part of a community that's committed to supporting each other on this journey. When you subscribe to this channel, you're not just getting more content, you're joining a family of people who believe in biblical prosperity and practical wisdom. Take a moment right now and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And here's what I really want to hear from you. In the comments below, share one money habit you're going to change this week. Share one financial goal you're ready to commit to. Share one way this message has challenged your thinking about wealth. Your story matters, your journey matters, and your success can inspire someone else who's struggling right now. Don't just watch this content, engage with it. Don't just consume it, contribute to it. You have wisdom to share, experiences that can help others, and testimonies that can encourage someone who's ready to give up. Here's the truth that will either liberate you or leave you exactly where you are. Everything you've heard today means absolutely nothing unless you decide to do something with it. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. Information without implementation is just procrastination. Understanding without application is just mental masturbation. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is bridged by one thing: decision followed by action. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. This isn't a suggestion, it's a strategy. This isn't religious rhetoric, it's practical wisdom. When you make decisions based on divine principles instead of human panic, when you operate from faith instead of fear, when you choose wisdom over worry, you position yourself for breakthrough instead of breakdown. Napoleon Hill discovered that successful people have one thing in common: they make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them quickly. They overthink until the opportunity passes. They analyze until they paralyze themselves. They plan until they procrastinate. Meanwhile, successful people understand that a good decision acted upon beats a perfect decision that's never implemented. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16:18. The moment you think you've learned enough, you stop growing. The moment you believe you've arrived, you start declining. The moment you close your mind to new possibilities, you close the door to new opportunities. Humility isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that no matter how much you know, there's always more to learn. No matter how far you've come, there's always further to go. No matter how much you've achieved, there's always more to accomplish. The righteous person falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble when calamity strikes. Proverbs 24:16. Success isn't about never falling. It's about always rising. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from failure. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Every successful person Hill studied had failed multiple times before they succeeded. The difference wasn't their ability to avoid failure, it was their willingness to get back up every time they fell. What mistake are you still punishing yourself for? What failure are you still hiding from? What setback are you still using as an excuse to stay stuck? Your past mistakes don't disqualify you from future success. They qualify you for future wisdom. Your previous failures don't eliminate your potential. They educate your progress. Your former setbacks don't determine your ultimate destination. They develop your determination. The plans of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. Proverbs 16:1. You can make your plans, but God determines your outcomes. You can set your goals, but God establishes your steps. You can chart your course, but God controls the wind. This doesn't mean you shouldn't plan. It means you should plan with prayer. It doesn't mean you shouldn't work. It means you should work with worship. It doesn't mean you shouldn't hustle. It means you should hustle with humility. Here's what I need you to understand with absolute clarity. Your transformation doesn't begin when you feel ready. It begins when you decide to start. It doesn't begin when conditions are perfect. It begins when you commit to progress. It doesn't begin when you have all the answers. It begins when you're willing to ask better questions. It doesn't begin when you overcome all your fears. It begins when you act in spite of your fears. Napoleon Hill observed that the starting point of all achievement is desire, but not just any desire, burning desire, obsessing desire, all-consuming desire, the kind of desire that keeps you awake at night and gets you up early in the morning, the kind of desire that makes you say no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great opportunities, the kind of desire that transforms obstacles into stepping stones and setbacks into comebacks. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. Proverbs 19:21. God's purpose for your life is not small. His vision for your future is not limited. His plans for your prosperity are not restricted, but His purpose can only be fulfilled through your participation. His vision can only be accomplished through your obedience. His plans can only be activated through your action. Stop waiting for permission to pursue your purpose. Stop looking for guarantees before you get started. Stop demanding certainty before you commit. Faith isn't believing despite the evidence. It's acting despite the uncertainty. It's moving despite the fear. It's starting despite the doubts. It's continuing despite the challenges. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Proverbs 16:9. Every step you take in faith, God will direct toward your purpose. Every move you make in obedience, He will orchestrate for your benefit. Every decision you make in alignment with His principles, He will amplify for your success. But you have to take the first step. You have to make the first move. You have to initiate the first decision. Today is your day of decision. Today is your moment of truth. Today is when you stop talking about change and start being change. Today is when you stop hoping for transformation and start creating transformation. Today is when you stop wishing for a better future and start building a better future. Write this down. I decide to act. Don't just think it. Write it. Don't just feel it. Declare it. Don't just hope it. Commit to it. Because when you put pen to paper, when you make the invisible visible, when you transform thought into written word, you activate something powerful in your subconscious mind. You move from intention to commitment. You shift from maybe to definitely. You transition from someday to today. Your life is not going to change because of what you know. Your life is going to change because of what you do with what you know. Your circumstances are not going to improve because of what you understand. Your circumstances are going to improve because of how you apply what you understand. Your future is not going to be different because of what you've heard. Your future is going to be different because of how you act on what you've heard. The fear of man brings a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord shall be safe. Proverbs 29:25. Stop living to please people who don't care about your purpose. Stop making decisions based on other people's opinions. Stop letting fear of criticism keep you from pursuing your calling. Stop allowing the judgment of others to become the prison of your potential. You are not what happened to you. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not your current circumstances. You are not your limited resources. You are not your painful past. You are who God says you are. You are what His Word declares you to be. You are the person He created you to become when you align yourself with His principles and act on His promises. The time for excuses is over. The season of preparation is complete. The moment of action is now. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Create your own beginning. Stop looking for the ideal circumstances. Transform your current situation. Stop hoping for someone to rescue you. Become your own hero. Your breakthrough is not going to fall from the sky. It's going to rise from your decisions. Your miracle is not going to materialize out of thin air. It's going to manifest through your actions. Your transformation is not going to happen to you. It's going to happen through you. Write, I decide to act, in the comments below. Not because I need to see it, but because you need to declare it. Not because it will change my life, but because it will change yours. Make the commitment, take the step, start the journey. Because the person you're meant to become is waiting for the person you are right now to make the decision that changes everything.